Hi, Internet world. This is Kristi Ray, and you're watching The Sit Down with the 13th Wolfman.
Hey everybody, it's the 13th Wolfman, and you know who I have back? Yeah, one of my favorite people. One of the most lovely people I know, Kristi Ray. You know her from Pieces of
Hi.
Talent, and she's got a lot of stuff coming out. So let's sit down and talk to her. Welcome back, Kristi.
Hi, Wolfie. How's it going?
It is going great. It's been over a year since we've seen you.
We're just talking about it. I feel like you haven't changed a bit. You look exactly the same in a good way. I'm feeling, better than ever. I'm happier and more productive and creative than I've ever felt in my life and my career. So things are going really well for me. And it's nice to just be back and be in the company of somebody that I've known for a while. And I miss hanging out with you and talking all the shop. So I'm just feeling really good today.
That's I feel the same way. It's like I miss. It's like we need to have you on more because I actually miss talking to you. You're such a down to earth person, and you've always got something going on. Looking at your IMDb, you got tons of stuff. But I mean, I see you got Beyond the Living is finally getting started.
Yes, it's actually, I spoke with the director, Will, just today. He's 2 days away from the final lock of the edit. And then it goes into visual effects, and then it'll be ready for the world to see. It's been a grueling process in the best way because this film is something that's really unique. So I don't have like a lot of information to give about it because it's all been kind of kept in the dark editing room. But I heard today that we're getting really close, which is very exciting. And I've been able to follow the journey a little bit from afar, just through text updates and things like that. But it's coming along, and wrapping up that film was a big part of my summer the past year. It was 2 summers in a row, so it's like hard to keep them all. I think it was
Yeah,
the last year. Honestly, I'm like confused about the timeline. I feel like I haven't seen you in 2 years. I've been doing a lot of things that aren't in the horror genre. So, um, but it seems like every summer I'm in the mountains shooting a horror film. So they kind of blur together after a while too.
no, I remember having you on last year because the news came from on high that there wasn't going to be a missing piece.
That's right. Did we talk about that?
We we talked about that, but
Yeah.
we didn't
Okay.
really,
We didn't
you know,
like get into it. Yeah. It's
right.
been something moving past that has been kind of, touchy for people, understandably. And it's really been totally out of my control. So I'm happy to be moving forward in the genre in a really progressive way and branching away and back to it in like this organic kind of ebb and flow of my career. I've always been so blessed by the horror community and approached by directors that I love and respect and people I've met at conventions and all these kind of things to offer me parts in other films and really good roles that I care about a lot. So those kind of sprinkle in there, and I'm doing other work in different genres. And um, I yeah, I actually moved into production myself as well. I since we last talked started a production company here in Wilmington, and I'm producing and writing, directing and acting in our own work too. So I get to have a lot of autonomy over the characters and types of stories that we're bringing to life, and create stories that I really care about as well. So I found a whole other passion since the last time I've seen you, which has been
Wow,
incredible. And I hope one day we can have my business partner Erica on the show as well. I think she would really like to meet you too. And
that'd be
she's
great.
yeah, we're called Honeyhead Films, and she is another 5'3" blonde, lovely woman that is equally as talented in front of the camera as she is behind the camera. So she's also a cinematographer and an editor and a writer, and we work together and collaborate everything. And that's what I've been working on, a lot of projects with her for the last year and a half, as well as jumping in and out of different casts, finishing up a few other horror films, working on Beyond the Living, working on Epiphany Road. I want to tell you a secret that no one knows yet, but we'll get to that later. I have some casting announcements to talk to you about, but I just want to kind of fill you in on what's been going on in my world. It's been a really fun whirlwind the last couple of years.
One of the last things I remember you doing around the last time we had you on was you made a short where you were a magician's assistant.
Oh yeah. That was shot here in North Carolina. Pleasure to me.
Coolest thing ever.
Did you like it? Did you get to see it?
I saw it.
I think maybe I sent it to you. If I didn't, I'll send it to you afterwards. I have a link to it. So it's still going through the festival circuit. It won a bunch of awards in the Southeast, and I heard from the producer that they are extending it into a feature film, and I'm not sure who's going to play the part. I don't know if it's going to be me or not, but it's going well for them. So that's really exciting.
It needs to be you.
That was a scary time on set, being in that water tank. I'll be honest, that was one of the most thrilling in not such a good way times for me, like diving in for the key and drowning, so to speak. I had like a code word. I had read a bunch of horror stories about Now You See Me. Is that the magician movie where it's like Amy Adams in there? And I think it's Amy Adams. No, it's the girl that looks like her. I can't think of her name right now, but she actually like almost really drowned because they all thought she was just acting really well and she couldn't get out. And she was saying, help me, get me out of the tank. And of course I'm reading all this, moments before going on set, having kind of a minor panic attack. So I came up with a silly, goofy, safe word. So like, let me out of this plexiglass tank if I'm actually drowning. But
if
cold warehouse filled with water. It was intense, definitely.
If you see me give you the middle finger salute, that means get me out.
I think that was it. I think that's exactly what I did. I had like said goat or something really random, that didn't mean anything. It was intense, but a lot of fun. And worked in Maine on the werewolf movie, which I always thought of you. White. Did you get a chance to see that one?
I haven't got a chance to see that one.
I should send it to you for sure. It's available on DVD on Bonfire Films' website, and they do such excellent work. Those guys are amazing, and it was just by pure happenstance that I ever got to work with them when Joe and I were on tour for Pieces of Talent and bringing it to all the conventions. We ended up setting up a booth next to Haley and Corey, several different conventions in a row, and became friends. And through that, they ended up offering me the lead in their short called White Drift. And I got to work with Sean Carmichael and Damian Maffei, who are incredible actors. And
the story sounds awesome.
I really cared for it a lot. It was a slow burn horror that wasn't really like a slasher. It had a lot of character development in it. It was so much driven by the emotion that the characters were going through and their backstory that I felt like at the end of it, everyone is completely invested in both my character and Sean's character, and you really feel for it. And in a way, it's kind of tragic and it's less scary. I mean, it was definitely filming that thing. I know we're talking about like the scary water tank drowning scene, but I take that back now that I'm like recalling filming the werewolf movie, having this giant, I mean, it was all practical effects. So it's like a big hairy man inside of a suit that is like a giant dog, and it's built to look really realistic and practical. And he's on you, and there's like this teeth. And I'm like, kind of hurts, he's like clawing at my neck and those teeth are sharp. One of them fell off because it got in me, and it was like 6 a.m. We'd been shooting all night long. And I was just imagining it was a real live dog, like a big dog. And that's where the fear and emotion came from for me. It was like, what would you feel like if you're really being attacked by a giant dog? Because I hate to break it to you, I don't really believe in werewolves. I don't. So it was just a big, scary dog.
That's okay. That's okay. It is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
no, that's fine. Yeah, that was one. That was one when you said you were making that, and you told me the story is about a guy that came back from the war that has like PTSD and is really having a hard time dealing with the civilian life.
Yeah, and I felt like I knew at some point in my life I knew someone that was personally going through something really similar, and the correlation between the characters and the real life person were very spot on. So I think it was really well written and very sad in that way, but in a good way. Because I like it when you like feel for them. You got to care about the characters in a horror film. Otherwise, I don't want to.
No, like, that's 100% true. I mean, you sometimes see some of these movies, whether it's a modern film or something from the 70s or whatever, and you're like, wow, they're all a bunch of dinks. Why do I care if they die?
Yeah.
I mean, it just. But you were working on something else. Sons of Our Fathers.
Oh, wow. Did you see that on IMDb?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that movie, I think that the producer of that film hasn't updated the status of that movie because it's been completed for a really, really, really long time. I think it was like the third movie I ever worked on. So hearing you say that, I was not expecting you to say that right now. Sons of Our Fathers, yeah. It's set in the Civil War, and it's a period piece, and I shot it in North Carolina maybe in like 2010, maybe 2009. Wow. It was like a very long time ago. And I think on IMDb it still says in development. I think you're right.
I think it said filming.
Filming, yeah. So I think if you don't go in and you change it, it'll just stay that way forever. So it's completed. I've seen it. It's screened in Raleigh. 2013. Finally, I saw it. Some of these things take a long time to get off the ground. So
yeah,
that was almost 10 years ago. Honestly, I'm like shocked to hear you say that. How funny. I could tell you other things that I'm working on.
Well, Epiphany Road, the Kevin Richmond film.
Do you know about Kevin?
He's been doing. He's done a lot more shorts. I think this is like his third or fourth feature film. This is put out by Peeping Tom Productions. It's their fourth horror film.
Yes, and he's a really, really great guy. He co-wrote this with someone else, and the script, when it was sent to my agent and he forwarded it to me, I started reading it, and I was committed by page 2, knowing who my character was. It's so well done. The dialogue is something I haven't encountered in an indie in a while. It feels so naturalistic, and I was so absorbed in the life of these 3 people. The most interesting part about Epiphany Road to me was that Kevin is producing this movie. He's a director, and he's only given me as an actor the scenes that I'm involved in. So I don't know the rest of the film. I don't know what happens, and I love it. I don't know how I'm related to the other elements. I don't even know what's happening outside of my little universe. The same way Kristi doesn't know what's happening at your neighbor's house. I might never meet them. Maybe I will. Maybe one day I'll come to visit you and our lives will intersect with your neighbor out the window over there and something crazy will happen, but maybe not. And in this movie, something crazy does happen, and it happens on Epiphany Road. So it's 3 stories woven into one. And the way, from what I understand, they intersect. You think you're following one group of people, and all of a sudden you kind of like leave the bar where they're like at this bar, and then you follow this car as it drives away from the bar, and inside the car is like my character and her cohorts. And then after that comes somewhere else. And they all collide in this one environment. And I honestly don't know. I don't know the end of the movie. I have no idea what's going to happen. I can't wait for the premiere because I'm kind of in the dark. I know my 40 pages, and that's about it.
So then you can't answer the one question I was curious about.
What is it?
Well, from what I've heard and what I've read about this movie, it's supposed to be a movie for music lovers.
Yes, there is a band. I know there's a band in it.
And I was just kind of, I was like, oh, ask her that, but it sounds like you don't know a whole lot about it, I mean, except for your role. So that's actually kind of a cool idea.
It is really cool.
You can't give away any more than you already know.
I can tell you about my character, and I know that there's a band, a rock band, and it's all females. That's what I know because I know that we encounter them in some way at the very end of my whole shebang. But I play a bounty hunter, so it's a lot of fun. I carry a 45, and my mom is this hard ass named Anne, and my name's Grace. I'm married recently to this older guy, and he has his own 2 kids. We live out in the sticks of North Carolina. We're kind of like Catawba County white trash in a way, and it's very interesting because these characters, I know people like this. You know what I mean? I grew up in North Carolina. These are authentically people that you might know in North Carolina, and
those are people I might know in Washington State.
Maybe, you know, and they're real, and I feel like they're missed and
underrepresented
in film. And I actually care about their morals, and I care about the things that they, you know, what they feel and the struggles they have. There's like a lot of familial tension and things like that. So all of the dialogue is so good. It's really well done, and I can't wait to see what happens to them. But I carry a gun, and I chase rednecks around in the woods and, you know, reprimand bad guys. That's kind of like my character type there, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, it's something different. And I just said yes immediately. I went and met Kevin at the read through after he had handpicked me based on other films that I had done. I'd never met him, and I didn't audition for it. It was an offer. And normally when you get offers like that, I kind of have pretty low expectations. I never really think they're going to be that great. Just, I don't know why, you know, it just seems like if anything's worth doing anything, you have to work for it a little bit. But I guess putting in the work in other films, it really does help out. So I had 0 expectations, and when I opened the script, I was really pleasantly surprised. It's an awesome script. So I'm looking forward to wrapping that up. I actually have 6 more days on the film. We're shooting it next weekend, and then wrapping it up at the very beginning of July. So I'll be done, I think, on the 3rd or 4th, or not the 4th, 2nd or 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were so busy.
I am quite busy right now. It's kind of nuts. Like, I'm really glad we had time to do this together tonight, because if it had to be tomorrow or the next, there's a lot happening right now. We have a film festival in town in Wilmington on Thursday, and one of our shorts is playing at it. I have some news I want to tell you. Can we talk about it?
It's up to you. I mean, we're still live, but we're still recording.
Yeah, of course. I want to make an announcement about something that happened last Friday that I wasn't expecting at all. I want to give you like a little bit of backstory because it's kind of magical and really cool. So I was telling you about Honeyhead Films, and Erica and I, she's my partner. She's also an actress, and we played sisters in this short film that we produced last August. It's called Lorelai, and you may have seen a photo or a still or something from it. I'm wearing this like big, oversized New World Order T-shirt in the movie.
Okay.
And a lot of people are like, "What's that film?" They're so curious. Like, why are you wearing that wrestling T-shirt? So that's the movie I'm talking about. We're playing these kind of like downtrodden, impoverished sisters in Eastern North Carolina that are dealing with the loss of their mother and trying to figure out what to do with their family property, and they're sort of, at odds with each other and kind of trying to tie up this estranged sisterhood. So this movie was made, and we've been submitting it to film festivals. It's a short film. It's only 7 minutes long. And we wrote it, or Erica wrote it, and we co-directed it and shot it with some friends of ours in collaboration, and submitted it to a festival where one of our friends is the programmer. He's someone we know through the horror industry. His name's Tommy Fairclough. He did Adrenaline Head and Family Possessions and The Cabin, and a couple of, he's been making movies since the 80s, but those are just ones recently. He puts out a new feature film every year, and he's got his own thing, his whole following and everything. It's really fun and has been awesome watching him and his career blossom. I met him also in the convention circuit, but he sent us a random text message on Friday and said, I'm casting my new film, and I saw you and Erica playing sisters in your short, and I can't think of anyone else for this part. I have 2 sisters that are lead roles in my new feature. It's called A Nun's Curse. It stars Felissa Rose. Are you guys interested? And I actually was at a wedding and didn't even get this text for hours. And as soon as I got back to my phone, because I'm disconnected, I'm in real life situation, I'm not going to be working on casting things. We said yes instantly. We've worked with Tommy before, and we know him and care about him a lot. Erica starred in his last feature, Family Possessions, and we know he's a great guy, and working with Felissa Rose is going to be so fun. And I didn't even need to read the script. I just said yes. And I was like, we're going to do this. It's going to be amazing. We get to play sisters in somebody else's movie. And it came from a short that we created for ourselves. It's what a beautiful thing that's happening. All the work is leading to more work, and I'm really excited about it. Damien Maffei is playing my boyfriend in the film, he's from The Strangers, but he was also in White Drift with me. So I've worked with him very briefly. We were only in one scene together in the short werewolf movie, but it's such a small, little, tight-knit family that it's kind of blowing my mind at this point, the way all the things are connected. The longer I'm acting and the longer I'm in the industry, I realize it's really all about who you know. And that's why it helps to be a down-to-earth person, like you're saying, because people want to work with people that they like and care about. And I want to work with people I like. So we say yes to people that we like. And that's just kind of how it goes. And it's really exciting. We start production in October. We're going to be shooting in Colombia. A couple things I can tell you. The movie takes place in a prison, and Felissa Rose is the antagonist in the movie, and the whole film takes place in just one night. So it's kind of like what Tommy said it's like Saw meets The Breakfast Club.
Oh, wow.
So take with it what you may.
So we've had Felissa on a few times.
Yeah, isn't she amazing? She is so much fun. I love her.
Third guest ever.
We've been at several conventions with her, and she actually played Erica's mother in the last movie, Family Possessions. She was in Tommy's last movie. So we know her from those things, but I've never got to act with her. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I know she's so iconic in that way that I feel honored to be a part of the cast. So I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be nice to do another horror feature that I know will have, exposure in the festival circuit and in all these conventions, where a lot of people will write to me on my Facebook page and things, and they'll say are you coming to this convention or this con, or will you be here making an appearance? And if I'm not in anything, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to go. And I love spending time with all of the fans there and doing that, but it's not really plausible for me to just kind of go have a booth or something. That feels really pretentious and strange. So I'm looking forward to being able to promote somebody else's work and be there and support that creative process and sell DVDs and do all that kind of stuff again. So yeah, I'm excited about it, and I wanted to tell you first. So I haven't publicly announced it yet, so you're the first to know.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
No, I love talking to you because you deserve everything that you get. I mean, when it comes to the movies you get to work on, I've never met anyone so. I've been doing this for a few years now, and like with everyone that it comes on, they're all very nice and they're all very graceful and all that. But I don't know, you just seem like a more wholesome person.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I feel that in my heart that you mean that. So thank you very much. I was raised really well, and I try to, stay grounded and be a real person. That's the most important thing for me. I love acting and I love the film industry, but the more I get to know people, and shady people too, they're definitely out there and you encounter them, and that's unfortunate, but it just drives home, being a good, sound, moral person really pays off in the end for everyone, but especially in this kind.
So are you ever? I mean, I know you love doing the independent circuit thing, the indie films, but are you ever going to do the hey, I'm going to try my luck out in Hollywood thing?
You mean like move to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
I guess you don't know this about me, but when I was 17, I graduated high school and I just hopped on a plane and I went there. And I lived there until I ran out of money, and I was really young. I had to lie about my age to get an apartment, and I didn't have a car. It was really very irresponsible, and I learned a lot. It was very humbling, and I realized my soul was not happy there at all. And I came back to North Carolina kind of with my tail between my legs a little bit. I was feeling really down about, a lot of people in my hometown like really thought that was what my path would be. I was going to be like in the new High School Musical movie with Zac Efron, like make it big and all this, and that did not happen. And I came home to North Carolina and auditioned for a movie called The Virgins in 2009 and was cast in the lead role. And it was an independent feature. And I said to my friends and my family, I was like, I can do this here. What? Why did I feel like I needed to go there? I can connect with people and work on projects I really care about where I don't have to like sell my soul to be there, paying an arm and a leg for an apartment and all of this. And there's creative people in this area where I can work with and feel fulfilled. So one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. The people I met ended up being these angels in disguise, and all of these opportunities came from that one thing. And I can trace back every little thing, and I think about it all the time. The Craigslist casting call for Pieces of Talent that changed my whole life. I would never know you if I just didn't get on Craigslist that day. Yeah. You know what I mean? I met Erica from Honeyhead, started a production company together. I met her on a Craigslist casting call during the Pieces of Talent tour. So while all that was happening, I was meeting her and working on a film with her, and then later we became a production company. I think about all the movies. We've shot 9 short films in the last year and a half, a feature-length documentary, and now we're working on, I have to tell you about that we'll get to, but all the people we've worked with, because becoming a company, all of those things, they're all affected by these like teeny little decisions we make all the time. And I wouldn't trade my life and change a thing about it. I feel wholesome because I'm here. Do you know what I mean? I see friends of mine that have moved to Los Angeles and they don't feel the same. They don't feel like their authentic self anymore. They're striving to be something that they feel the industry wants them to be, and they can't have it unless they change. And you know what I think, Wolfie? I think nobody wants you to be like anybody else. When have you ever invested in the career of someone that was just like someone else you had seen? Everybody wants to see somebody different. And why not just be who you really are? Because you can change the industry instead of the industry changing you. That's how I feel.
So the answer is no. Okay.
I think the answer isn't. It's no. It's not no. It's not a hard no. If we're
No. The question was,
go,
would you ever move out there? And
yeah,
it
but
sounds
I'm not
it
gonna.
sounds like you're happy where you are. So the answer
I'm
is
very happy where I am, and I would go there for a job. I would go there and work for sure, but I'm not going to go there looking for something because
right.
I have it in here, and I have it in my community, and the people I choose to spend time with is around me.
I don't want you to change. I love you the way you are. I mean, I just want to watch you grow as an actress and keep putting out the great stuff that you keep putting out. It was just a curious question. It's like, I think you're a wonderful
question. Yeah.
I think you're a wonderful actress, and I want to see you, flourish and become the name that everyone needs to know.
So I have a life plan. Do you want to hear it?
Okay.
Have you seen Another Earth?
No.
Have you watched the OA?
The what?
OA?
No.
It's a sci-fi series on Netflix. It's very good. I think you might like that.
Okay.
There's an actress, writer, producer named Britt Marling, and I really look up to her. She had a very similar start to her career as I did, auditioning for a lot of independent horror films and things like that, getting offered kind of the trashy naked girl in the woods, the blonde bimbo, blah, blah, asset to the man, or like the crime victim or whatever it is, and just not feeling fulfilled by the character she was playing. So she started to write and produce her own work and star in the movies she would create for herself. So she became, a producer as well. And now she's like the producer and star of her own Netflix series, and Brad Pitt is the executive producer of that. So it can happen. She's only like 6 years older than me, and she came from somewhere random, and her parents weren't in the industry, and she didn't sell her soul in Los Angeles. And I think she like flies under the radar, and she's a real person, and I like that. But she's doing it, and she's a name to me. A lot of people know who she is, and a lot of people don't, which I kind of like too. I want to be able to go to the grocery store and, talk to the cashier and be kind to her and not have her like fall out because she's like so excited to meet me or something weird like that. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just, like I said earlier, I think you deserve everything you get, I do know that we have to, tie things up so we can do the live show. I'll talk to you more there.
Okay.
But
remind me, ask me then about what happened in Mexico, because that was a lot of fun.
So if people are looking for you and they want to find you on the social medias, where can they find you?
My Instagram handle is Kristi Ray of Sunshine, KRISTIRAY of Sunshine. And my Facebook name, I have a page for my acting. It's spelled the same way, facebook.com/Kristi Ray Actress. I have a website, www.kristiray.net, and you can always find me on IMDb. Just search for me, or imdb.com/Kristi Ray, and those are my internet things. I'll give you my address. You can write me letters. That'd be way more.
Thank you for coming on, Kristi.
Thank you for having me. I genuinely appreciate it. It's so good to see you, and here's your cyber hug.
For Kristi Ray, of course, I'm the 13th Wolfman, and as always, I'm on the prowl.